allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim by the weekend.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Rahki G, and I'm back with another vlog. Rahki on the rocks, but I got coffee this time versus some wine or champagne. We'll switch it up here and there, but Rahki on the rocks is story time. So one of the questions that I get asked most all the time usually is, how did my fitness journey start? Like, it's just this story I've been trying to tell for some time, but it usually just runs off the camera because the story's so long. Or maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm like too detailed. The story always drags because I try to like get into detail as much. It's because it's too many of these, like too many stories within a story. My journey has a lot to do with an ex-boyfriend. That's really how it started. My journey started with an ex-boyfriend. So I'm gonna try to tell this story as compressed as I can and detailed without switching up the damn focus. Okay, beginning, right? Alright, so I was never like fat. I wasn't born fat or anything like that. I never really battled any weight issues until I was in the elementary school. I was actually in middle school, and I was going to the 7th grade, and that's when my weight issues started. Maybe it had a lot to do with my auntie passing away. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It had probably a lot to do with hormones. Like 7th grade, that's like when people start getting into puberty, I guess. I'm not sure, because I got puberty super late. First disclaimer, like, dude, I didn't get my period until I lost my virginity before I got my period, and that'll be another story time. I got my period really late. I developed really late, like. But anyway, moving forward. So my weight issues started middle school. I ended up leaving Miami-Dade County, going to Broward, and that's when I ended up becoming overweight as a preteen. And coming back to Miami-Dade County, because we lived in Broward for about 2 years, a year and a half. So when I came back to Dade County, I had already gotten big, and when I got back, that's when like a lot of shit started, and that's when, like, you know, we spoke about the whole bullying thing that started reoccurring. So I came back to Miami around 8th grade, and a lot of people, everybody in my middle school was like, oh my god. They were so shocked that I got tall because I had a growth spurt, if that's how you say it. But the comma continued. It was, you got tall plus fat. And everyone kept telling me, oh my god, you got so fat, you got so fat, you got so big, you got so fat. And I had no idea because I was a kid. So I was like, whatever, you know? So that's when the insecurities started, and a lot of people that went to my middle school, even like best friends, could tell you, I wore a sweater every day. I didn't care if it was the same sweater, because I think it was the same sweater. We didn't have money, so I wore the same clothes all the time. So I wore the same hoodie every day. And since you wear a uniform, people didn't really notice, but some people did, because people told me that, oh, you remember you used to hide in your hoodie. That's how they said it. I used to hide in my hoodie. So I guess, and I think anybody that's overweight or fat or whatever can probably vouch for that and say, yeah, I think I do hide in my clothes, because it is a overweight, obese thing. You do try to hide in big clothes. So it started there. The weight kept going on and off, up and down, up and down. I was really big. I lost some weight for 9th grade, came back like show stopping. 10th grade, it was kind of like accumulating the weight a little bit. And I remember by the time I got to senior year, I was all the way back up to like, I graduated at like 215 pounds. I graduated fat. Let's talk about how the journey really happened. All right, so ex-boyfriend, toxic relationship. That's a whole nother story time. Because, oh my God, this dude was leeching off of me. He was already in and out of jail in high school, homeless in high school. He was living pretty much like sneaking into my house every night, and we lived in a 2-story house. So he would jump the AC unit, from the AC unit jump the top of like the pool deck, and then climb to my window, come inside, and my room was connected to the master bedroom, well, the bathroom, and he used to sneak in my house like 11:30 on a school night. Mind you, I'm in high school, and take a shower. I used to pretend to take a shower really late so he could wash his ass. I used to literally eat only half of my food and save the other half without my parents noticing, or anytime they like walked away from the kitchen, I would like slide some food away and save it for him. So some of you might call it ride or die, but I was setting myself up for failure, okay? Pretty much, straight up, and all the signs were there. It took me 2.5, 3 years later to realize, and physical altercations, the list goes on. Moving forward, that dude didn't have goals, didn't have inspirations. And my sister, she was already in Gainesville, so she came back down, was like, you know, you ready to go to school? You ready to go to college? Let's go, you know, pack up your stuff and it's time to go. So, so with that being said, like, and some people probably remember this story, I had to pack up and get ready to go to Gainesville to go to school. So moving forward, we had 2 roommates in a 4-bedroom. So my sister's boyfriend would come, stay here and there, and so would my ex-boyfriend. Now, mind you, he wasn't supposed to be up there because he was in and out of jail. He was on paperwork and he was like on house arrest or something. He was on probation, so he couldn't come up there. He literally didn't live in Miami and came up casually. He lived where I was and came down casually. So this dude would be in my apartment every day, didn't help me with nothing. Didn't help me with nothing. The only money he would bring into our little lives at the time was illegal money, bad karma, stuff that came back to me every time. It was just every time that came back to me, because that's why so many bad things were happening to me. So moving forward, he would leech off of me, play video games all day. You know, the house wasn't really dirty, but the dishes would pile up. He didn't help at all. How about that? And the dude, we had a car, my sister and I, that we were sharing, and she went off and kind of got another car too. So we were kind of like playing with a car or two, like 2 cars. He would take my car, drop me off at school. I put little old Rahki at the time, young Rahki that's in love, she doesn't get it, she doesn't understand. So moving forward, my schedule was insane. This is how the weight gain really happened. The freshman 20, nah, I had about a freshman 40. That wasn't even my biggest. The loop that I was caught into and how my weight gain worsened. So I started off at 215, went off to college, dealing with this deadbeat dude and not having a nickel for anything. Like, our parents never had, like, our parents couldn't help us at the time at all, period. They couldn't really help us like that, only as much as they could. And we had to definitely get jobs. We had to apply for any kind of financial aid, any kind of anything that we could get, even food stamps. Like, we tried to get the food stamps, we didn't get approved. So being depressed and not having any money, you know, that just worsened the depression. So the loop was that I had to get a job and I had to still go to school my first semester, and I had to take all my classes, as much classes as I possibly could, so that way I can get a bigger financial aid check. I needed the Pell Grant to get in my pocket. So I was taking about 4 to 5 classes, which was full-time at the time, and I was working at Forever 21 in Oaks Mall. Now, Forever 21 was giving me, if I was lucky, 40 hours a week, but the way retail is, like, even if you're not scheduled to get 40 hours, you're gonna end up getting 40 hours having to stay late, and it'll accumulate within time. So my schedule was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I had to clock in at work until the store closed, from 2 to close. We closed the mall probably like 9 or 10 o'clock, but we had to stay until like 11 midnight all the time to do back, whatever those things were called, you know, the things that, put all the clothes back and clear the floor. So I would wake up at 6 in the morning, go to school, get off school around 12:45, and by the time I would get home, it'd be like 1:15. So I only had 45-minute window left to get to work. I would either, if I was lucky, try to find something to eat and or change my clothes. My tattoos stopped me, it prevented me from wearing anything I wanted, so I had to kind of wear the same thing over and over. So with that being said, I got dressed, I tried to eat something, I couldn't really eat anything. I never really had time because from getting off school, going to work, it was always a 45-minute window with commuting included. So I would get to work and be there all the way up to 10 or 11, 12, try to make my way back home, try to find time to do my homework, to get some kind of rest, wake back up at 6 o'clock and be on my way back to school. And it was a Monday through Friday thing. Now, ask yourself, where was the food? Where was the food? First of all, it was already bad enough that I didn't have money to buy grocery. I realized that with my check every bi-weekly, I only had $60 remaining to buy food. So with the $60, I would have to split that $30 a week. So I was legit living off of $30 a week food, and that's nothing. You can't do anything with that. So I have to always buy frozen foods or the sodium noodles, those cup noodles. That was the only thing you could afford, literally. So that's the stuff that I was eating, because where am I all day? Either school or work. I work in the mall, food court, literally across from the store. And food in school, food court, and vending machines. That's all I had. That's all you're exposed to in college, or my college, all the way up there. All you have is fast food everywhere. So there's where your weight gains. Forget about the relationship that I was in. Now, this is the life changer for me. This is where my life changed. Boom. So I remember one day, it was like around Valentine's Day, and I had gotten a bonus check, which I was so excited about. The bonus check was a little bit over $400, and I remember saying, it's Valentine's Day. I was such a crazy girlfriend at the time. I don't even know why I was putting all my little coins, my little nickels, pennies that I had into this dude. My God. Like, anyways. So, I remember I had like a check over like 400 and some change. And I remember going to the mall saying, okay, I'm gonna buy him some shoes, I'm gonna buy myself some shoes, we're gonna buy an outfit, and we're gonna take pictures. Because I was so in love and I just wanted to have such a good Valentine's Day and stuff. And so I bought him some J's, I bought myself some J's, the matching J's. So I said, okay, now I have enough to buy us an outfit and still pay for the cute shots. I bought him some black Levi's at Macy's and a red Jordan shirt. I had bought myself the red Jordan short, so I had about maybe like $65 left for the jeans, and then enough money for the photos. The photos were like 45 bucks. So I had to find some jeans. I worked at Forever 21. I could not even fit the biggest size, which is anything from 29 to a 31 at the time. There was no plus size Forever 21 at all. There was no such thing. So I could not even buy pants where I worked. I said, well, this is a small town. This place doesn't even have that many. It's just not Miami. So I have to get in where I fit in. Someone suggested, oh, you need some pants? Oh, like Forever 21? Okay, well, for your size, you can go to this store named Torrid. So I was like, what? So I was like, okay. So I went to a store named Torrid, just like Forever 21 in a sense, same style, same new urban, you know, stuff, clothing, but for big girls and way more expensive. And I was like, oh my God, they had like all these cool things, nice accessories and stuff like that. So I went to the jeans section, and the jeans, I remember like I grabbed like a size 1, and a size 1 was like this big. And I was like, whoa, a size 1. So if this is a size 1, then what size am I? Like, am I 0 or 00? So I went and found my size, which was like a 00 or whatever. For me, it just, so moving forward with the size that I got, I went try the jeans on, and the jeans, they fit me. But this is the thing, when I looked at the price, I couldn't afford the jeans. The jeans were buy one for like, it was like $79.99 and get the second one for $99.99. So pretty much you get 2 pair of jeans for $100, or you buy one for like 80 bucks. So I was like, no way. No way, Jose. I don't even have enough money for this. What in the world? I couldn't afford the jeans. And I only had about 2 pair of jeans that could fit me. All the jeans that I had at the time, all the pants that I had, they all had holes in the middle. Holes in the middle from scrubbing. None of my jeans didn't have holes. All of them had holes. I used to have to even wear jeans with tights on underneath because I didn't want people to notice my skin in the holes, because I couldn't fit any other jeans. And it was to the point where people would tell me, like, you know, you wearing like the same stuff here and there, because I couldn't have any money for new clothes, and I couldn't fit any of my clothes from high school, from any days. The only clothes that I could fit at the time was my cousin giving me some of her maternity clothes. So at that point, when I was in Torrid and I realized that I couldn't afford the pants, I couldn't fit pants anywhere else, no matter where I shopped in the entire city of Gainesville, I couldn't afford or fit anything. That was a life-changing moment for me. That was the moment where I went home and I cried. And I cried and I cried and I cried, and I said, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this college thing. I can't do this relationship thing. I can't do any of that. Like, I'm at such an unhealthy place. And I remember calling my best friend and explaining a lot of things to her, and she was there for me. And she was like, you know, really sad for me, and she tried to help me as much as she could, and she even tried to send me money, which is another video about me being homeless, and she tried to help me, but there wasn't that much that she could do. So in reality, it was already like, you know, I need to change my life. So with that being said, that's when I realized I'm on the verge of dropping out and breaking up with this dude and just leaving everything and probably just moving back home. So I decided, let me start working out. I had a gym in my complex that was 24 hours, thank you, Lord. And I remember this dude was so toxic to the point where I said, I wanted to start working out, and I only came home around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that was the only time that I had to train. And I remember this dude would get in big fights with me at night, like big fights, like, why you want to go? Now mind you, he was 6'4" at the time. He's probably taller now. So he was 6'4" at the time, and I was like 5'2". So he was like, you know, why you want to go out? Why you want to go out at this time? Why you want to go train? He did not want me in the gym. He did not. He always picked a fight with me. It was times where he couldn't find me at the house. I would sneak out the house to go train, and he would come in the gym and start a fight with me. Big fight with me, and try to grab me by my sweater, try to make me come to the house. And he was big influence on why I was big, why I was fat, why I was depressed, why I was, you know, unhealthy. So that's the situation that I was in, and it was a reoccurring situation for a long time until I finally decided that I couldn't live that life anymore. Now the story merges on to me actually being homeless, from being homeless to a friend allowing me to sleep on her couch, from, you know, cars getting taken away from me, and I lost everything. I lost everything in Gainesville to the point where I ruined the relationship that I had with my parents because I had this toxic individual in my life. And I remember this dude, like, he poisoned me to the point where I was disrespecting my mom, disrespecting my dad. I had no value when it came to my parents. I felt like it was me and him against the world. And this dude, like, really, like, brainwashed me in a sense, because I believe that even when you're having sexual intercourse with somebody, like, so much energy is being transferred, so much influence is being transferred, that when you lose yourself, it takes for somebody on the outside to drag you back out of that, or to smack you up, or for a real life-changing situation to say, wake up, you are lost, my friend. So that's what happened to me, and moving forward, I finally came back to Miami in a very bad place, no place to sleep, nothing. All I had at the time, I kid you not, was a roof over my head, the little, I felt like the little love that my parents had left for me because I ruined the relationship to the core, and my best friend. If it wasn't for her and him at the time, because I had a best friend that was a boy too, if it wasn't for them, I don't even know where I would have been right now. Nothing happened overnight. Everything was months away, merging onto years. It took me about 2 years to finally get into a good place, and to finally say, okay, well, you know what? Now I can take my time and actually start working out. Now I can build myself back up. This will be a 2-piece story time, Rahki on the Rocks, so that way I can explain the toxic relationship that I was in, as well as the journey, my fitness journey. So this is part 1 with my fitness journey merging onto the toxic relationship, and stay tuned for the second vlog, piece 2 to this, speaking about the toxic relationship.
So you guys, make sure you catch the next vlog. You don't want to miss it, because this is what's coming up next.
And like, whoa, we couldn't believe how these girls looked. And we were like, wait a minute, hold on, it's something to change. Like, this is what I want to look like. So from there, then it got to her getting obsessed with YouTube and saying, why don't you go on YouTube and like look at all these people. So